Interesting. So, it looks like the first 20 minutes got completely wiped out. That's fucking terrible. What a waste of everybody's time. For those of you watching, what a waste of time. Jesus Christ. I was worried something like that would happen. We were having connection problems before, and we lost 20 minutes. Jesus Christ. Oh well. That's no fun. So let's see. I had already read, Jesus Christ, Blue Soaked Scepter. We did Passing for White. There was Would You Sell the Relics and White Cello. Good Lord. All those gone. What a shame. Oh well. Along with, of course, with my pithy commentary. Anyway, this is called Two Franciscan Nuns. That's a shame. That's a shame. What are you going to do? Chewing mint leaves while crossing the Calumet River. The paper mill's exhaust pipes interrupt the vista. Mules waited with surge protectors, hairspray, and cassettes. A riverboat of morphine-addicted ghosts on the left. Two Franciscan nuns wanted to build a hospital, but settled for organizing games of chance. In their hotel rooms, they squeeze out extra acidic orange juice and excommunicate people with unpleasant names from the phone book. Two Franciscan nuns helped decorate an admiral in the pensioner's home after he'd misplaced his uniform. They blessed his pills, kissed his parakeet, and as he slept, gathered sets of his false teeth to sell at the swap meet. A brain with blood and oxygen is better than a fish who talks. What some people see as skin discoloration is in fact the natural pigmentation when viewed from inside. Some newspapermen have always known this, and have nothing to hide. Hopefully y'all are getting this out there. I don't check comments or any of that. I could give a fuck or not. Yeah. What do I care? This is an idea. It's one of the problems of having such a large body of work. This is from 1997. This is called 1+1. Already cleared toward the light, already prepared for existence in time. 7 times belonging to a cosmic happening, 7 times occurring for what's already there. It's a pin-step balance already in place, without having to chant or petition for deliverance. Already inside your mind is what's real, already away from a one-note idol, already tested under the subconscious. Subconscious. Everything you know will eventually be revealed. How you guys doing out there? This is also from 1997. This is personal favorite. It's called Yes. The soundscapes fly from dusk, sterility restricted to their thoughts, bleak as the day they were born. But the concrete is in a state of flux, and the forest lies under a soiled blanket of lucid dreams. pale-faced disintegration in the awestruck penniless geometric cluster and its meaningless tradition. For some quiet, they'd drink shattered glass. For some peace, they'd murder a stillborn baby. Savages behind closed doors, but who commits treason and defines what's pure? With the precise rhythms and headache medicine, memories seep through like blood under a fingernail. We never know when it's finished. The wave just rides. Preface to manifest slavery. Entire chapters to write. Planets of aliens to conceive. We never know when it's finished. The wave just rides. All right, this is called. This is from what was it? 2006. So it's a book I did called The Aluminum Farm, and the idea of it, which nobody got at the time, was what if fascism happened in America? Like, what if there was a fascist state, and what if the militias, like the Michigan militia, actually started running some things. And it was sort of based around this idea that I was recruited by the ISO like 25 years ago. They wanted me to write for them. And I made an anti-police joke, and they got really angry with me. So these are like supposedly like the most left-wing people on the planet. And they got angry with me because they said that when the revolution came, the police were going to have to fight in solidarity with quote unquote us against the military. So they thought that the FOP was gonna defeat the army, and that's what they were banking on. And I just thought, well, that's a little unrealistic. At the best of times, that's a little unrealistic. So anyway, this is called Speeding into a Red Light. They don't know about my addictions. They shouldn't speak as if they do. I get sick without their opinions. I feel great relief when they provide valid, contradictory proof. I keep my feet straight. Then came the fish. I pledge my devotion of abstinence. The titanium is parallel, like my mind to the lathe. My heart is a piston, my feet and tongue triggers. My will is a safe. Underneath 20 feet of cement and railroad track, what has your contribution been? Out, out, out. Don't disrupt my headset. Don't distract me with lights. I want action and motion, not your plans. I defeat these shrugging cretins. I accept what is certain. Out tonight, only dealing in facts, eliminating any glacial pace on my path. The cocked gun on my lap is a reminder to me to keep perspective when looking for beauty in the land of the free. Holy smokes, that tower blew up quick. Well, there's no time to check if anyone innocent is trapped inside of it. I have to clear this fucking area pronto, or they won't let me stay at the hotel tonight, and I'll have to sleep outside. Fuck that, I ain't no new recruit. You and I in black, sloshing through the lake, underneath the forest preserve, trickling up our legs. They don't know what we do. Private joy in a quiet moment, drinking a Pepsi in my tent. The moonlight on your cylinders, and I in dark green. Let me know what a wonderful world it truly can be. I'm first. Out, 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 out now. Me, I'm first. And we'll just keep going. This is the aluminum farm. On the aluminum farm, we speak in turns. Anyone caught lying gets their clothing burned. We waive our pay, we work all day. They let us choose not to pray. On the aluminum farm, we catch a bruise, line up and get tattooed. We walk in quiet out of the way. We know we're lucky just to live in this place. On the aluminum farm, we shear the sheep, hide our weapons before we go to sleep. Salute the man up in the tower. If we're humble, then we get a shower. On the aluminum farm, they give us guns, target practice under the morning sun. We hear the speech and we agree, 'cause this land was made for them and for me. think that's good enough for that one, huh? That gets the point across. We'll do another one from the female perspective. I read this one last time as well. It's called Diamond Mine. Water rushing so fast it looks like knotted wood, its sound a ceaseless, perpetual crash in static blue and black. Droplets burst over the plank sides and dot the dirt, or land down kicked-out bricks, and from the ravine's opposite angle the water seems to glide clockwise, rolling ever nearer towards the gears. And into the factory, where 7 years previous the core of the industry sunk unexpectedly early, and like a defense attorney, the treasurer ruled the materials used were archaic and their methods unrealistic, and his demands seized up the foreman and night shift technicians acidly joked they were laboring within the Great Repression. For ages it seemed like the beams from the afternoon sun wouldn't come, but later we learned the view was obscured by a flood started from the diamond mine. We know. It's either tacitly implied or we're told outright, you can't be seen like that. You need lights. When money is exchanged and you're finally responsible and realistic, you can't be seen like that. You need lights. Know the value of being articulate and reconsider your obscure subject. You need to stay in the lines. You need to revise. Realize the need to eliminate images that would be unwise to present or ideas you'll be unable to defend. Why persist if honest people cannot implicitly understand you can't be seen like that? You need lights. For years it seemed like the beams from the afternoon sun wouldn't come, but we later learned the view was obscured from a flood that started in the diamond mine. Back in the head office on the desk next to the coffee, scissors, and gold pen set was a black leather envelope in the morning's newspaper, whose subheadline read, "Forget Forgetfulness," and detailed a local photographer who makes elaborate, enormous, near-twin gelatin prints of events, one real and one staged, and described the effect as painting over paintings. When asked by the reporter, "Who will get this?" the photographer remarked, "Anyone who misses being pure or ever imagined placing one point in time over another. Anyone who pictures the shape of ideas and not the shape of their mind. Anyone who sees a crowd and tries to find the people in disguise." Later, the paper lay open to the crossword puzzle, and among answers written in indeterminate script were asides like, "Does purpose follow appearance? Where is this from? Reasons better than because," and finally, of course, determining what to become. I'm going to do another one I did last time because I did not like how it came out. So, and then we'll focus on a bunch of things I didn't do last time, right? So, I have to get the I should do this with the accompaniment. Would be good. You know? How you guys doing out there? Having fun? When the Guardian goes mad, the sun rains against their eardrums, indistinguishable from Morse code tapping on a copper plate. Yes, when the Guardian goes mad, they're found singing love songs to tanks, draping staircases and flags, breaking car windows to decorate their faces with the glass. When the Guardian goes mad, they're captured They're captured pushing a pickaxe into an LED screen and detained for threatening to throw snakes at gas station attendants. When the Guardian goes mad, people suddenly remember to turn on AM radio and patiently follow guidelines before filing a full report. Though there are always doubters and passers-by who start conspiracies, the usual being that this was a planned distraction. If the Guardian goes mad, they'll arrive at every awards ceremony with a mirror in hand and a ribbon under their chin and make demands to review the voting process when they don't win. If the Guardian goes mad, they'll rue the day they lost control of their relationships, spending weeks hiring staff to bury paperwork they'll insist doesn't exist. If the Guardian goes mad, all their meals shall consist of orange peels pulled from chain-link fences and burned coffee flavored with molded peach preserves. Though there are always doubters ready to offer an opinion of unverifiable proof summarizing that death and maps are the only real measures of impact, can you imagine being that fucking sick? If the Guardian cracks up, they'll spend bleak days envisioning trees committing suicide, grandmothers doing crystal meth for the first time, and gnats smeared into toothpaste. If the Guardian cracks up, 7 strangers in a bank will claw at each other to seek cold air in the vault and wait for their families and firemen to arrive and dig them out. If the Guardian cracks up, pirates will walk their own planks and devour themselves once they hit water, thrashing back at their gnashing teeth, running the seas red until hunter and prey are one. Ignorance, arrogance. The pest control man said unto me, when I was in Japan, I bought cherry bread in a can. I opened it with a knife and slid off the wrapper. The air bubbles stayed floating in my mouth. And then I rolled around until I returned back to the West. Bliss, tolerance. The pest control man said unto me, sometimes my apartment building turns into a vending machine, and I get deposited into the evening to provide goods and services for lucky couples with good taste and a few wandering dollars to rub together. That was okay. It's better than last time. Last time was fucking wonky. I hope you don't mind me swearing. It'd be terrible if you're offended by bad language. I'd be really upset. This is one I've never actually read before. This is from a book I did called Radar Grain. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. We'll do a different one first. This is called MDC. This is from a book of mine called Present. Some people need magic, some people need grace. Get to know me, put your hand on my back, ask questions about my future and past, gain my confidence with your hand on my back. I'll give you something you'll never lose, not worth any money, but still important to me. Wait right here, I'll be back. I'll give you something that you will never lose. Get to know me, make mental notes, photograph the room I'm in, mimic my mannerisms. Get to know me, memorize a couple of quotes. What you know is this. I love freezing in winter, used a pencil to dig out a splinter. You've got a smile for me and the family of mine you met. They want to know you better, and you know you're getting closer. Learn to copy my signature. You said you were me and got my PIN number. The phone rings at 9. You're right outside my apartment. The ID says private caller, and I can't even tell it's your voice. It's freezing in winter, and you know you're so much closer, and I know I should go, but I don't. I invite you in and out of the cold. Get to know me, touch my shoulder, touch my hand, look me in the eye, and make me understand. Get to know me, touch my hair and touch my hand. Come here, what you know is this. I hate driving in rain. I hate that you won't pay for a better place to stay than that cheap hotel room I got a spider bite in. It's 2:45, a truck is cleaning the street, and you're walking through the steam right at me. I want to go home and make sure the door is closed, and you'll never let me. Rain's gushing from the gutter, and you know you're so much closer, but the window is closed. I keep thinking about bringing you in and out of the cold. Debating just be too damn disastrous. So we won't do that. We shan't. This is when I look. When I look and the walls are in the wind, when I see you're unsure how to begin, I promise soon you'll be laughing with friends in open gardens, clapping. When you see, you remember every dream. So we find it's simple to forget. So you find that you are very blessed. Through windows at sunset silently, faces meet your eyes, smiling serenely. So you find you remember every dream. And you try imagining all things beyond eyesight in air, over our celebration, beneath streets unknown, untouched, 40 fathoms deep, too far to reach. When I look and talk to you, I know. When I see, you will never be alone. The mirror reflects a statue, lilac bush and bee, and we agreed feelings create reality. When you see, you remember every dream. In and near, eclipsing, absorbing, transmogrifying wood, water, and sand, pushing till the horizon is vanishing, scraping outer limits, distant and away. Venus wading in a lake on the first day of spring, glides past a present cane, sees what the future can be. Venus wading in a lake, picked ripe fruit from the trees, pouring petals in the water, splashing along with her baby. The sparrow takes flight, arrives as it arrives. Venus sitting stringing pearls for her beloved girls. Walks to where she's sleeping on the deck, kisses her on the forehead. Venus swimming beneath the sun, can speak earnestly with anyone. The sparrow takes flight, arrives as it arrives. All right, this is from Radar Grain. This is called Painter. He walked all day to the UK, found some money on the floor, and was on his way. He knew the book was blasted, so he saw through the murk. A little sinister, a lot of charming made him do his work. Well, the painter couldn't stop painting over the image he'd made. It had been perfect before, but now it's just on display. He broke a chair and started to shout, "You have no idea what my art is all about." Now he knows all the presidents, can say them all in a row, and in India he walked real slow. Some mountains, some architects and trees. He fell on his knees and got the picture in mind, but he forgot his sketchbook and left it all behind. Now he dates a lady with rubies in her ear. The papers say he's idle, but that's not what she hears. There's no more brushes or messy oils on the floor. He's a sculptor now, and he gives his spare marble to her. So that's the story of the painter who ate hamburgers in bed, went to make the scene, and forgot where he put the thread. This is called 1001. This is a long one, kind of. I mean, they're all long ones. And oh, who gives a fuck? This is called 1001. I was traveling across Missouri and I saw the floods. The water waved like eyelids draped over the heavens. I came to the caverns and lit a fire. I left a drawing of my own, an elephant with a broken back. A 6-year-old cracked some sticks and made a puddle of wine. In the fog hovered the pestilence, dusted with cicada wings and bats. The cockroaches had incisors and ate a meal of matchsticks. I met the mayor. We watched a lunch line kick a dog. We stole light bulbs from a factory. We wrote a novel and a play and then burned it all. Let me tell you about starving and lust in your mouth, because I've never missed a meal and I won't start now. I've never seen that many rodents migrating south and 10,000 blood vessels turn inside out and 20 boats capsize and a Chinese dragon get caught in an updraft, windshields and storefronts snapping in half. On the battlefield, none of this is real. My hands have been sliced open with Leather and steel, rivulets of blood and dirt cover my scabs and wounds. I spun on my heels and I look around at the land. I was surrounded by dead bodies and I had to believe this wasn't part of the plan, so I threw down my gun and I yelled at the sky and I said, God, you bring whatever hell you want to me because I'm not afraid to die. And the earth's rotation sped up and I cried out, hallelujah, and I saw squirrels and worms clinging to the dirt, almost paralyzed, and cannons started flying forward and lightning blinded my eyes and I saw the door on either side, but I was not terrified. I saw the path I had to take for the rest of my life. Lightning projected onto an infinite expanse of space. Every instinct played without fear of fate. An imperceptible mist keeping me awake. Blue air, blue skies, blue land, radium and spring water holding reservoirs in my hands. Then I come to, with my brother standing over my face, crying because he thought I was gone, and I bolted upright and using his shoulder leapt to my feet, and I ran away hollering, will there be liberty or judgment, or are you going to look for a drink in the dry riverbed? Do you want to be cleansed in dusty rocks? Try to wrangle yourself out of chains and just get encrusted in flakes of rust? That man over there don't care about what happens to you or who you pledge your duty to. Will you toil in drudgery when honor and dignity will stop your form crawling? Will you accept death's sting and impassively function like a ghost, like a legging on the great spirit? Or will you cast off this burden, this bondage, and find joy in better things? Death, I take the trumpet from your mouth. I walk to drown out your sound. I puncture your drum. I will not march and I will not watch. The fear overcomes me, but I shall not succumb. I will continue to laugh. Death, you will not seize my spirit while I sleep. I will stand victorious over your sarcophagus and bury it in Stickney. I will use my will at your most evil. I will starve instead of choking on your cattle. I won't keep any secrets. I will stand as I am. In the front of the market, cars were floating away. Wind was fiercely blowing. The flags were hoisted. Faces filled with roiling rage. An ambulance sped by. A deer was tied to the top. The school nurse broke through the front door, used her hands to dig into the ground, then emptied the contents of her purse out. She fled hysterically. Searchlights pierced the day. Sirens were silenced. Buzzing mutated into stillness. Birds gathered in small circles. The trees and roads looked sore. People's chests and arms bruised. I saw a signal from the window, and I took a picture for proof. I counted the change in my pocket. I remembered Tony and Mima's phone number. I was a boy, and they couldn't get me off the swings, and now I can fly, so I never stop. I always would wish to observe overhead, weightless, straightforward, irresponsible, endless, adroit, fast, far above, picking out the doves from the seagulls. And I wonder who will fall for fuel and travel to another coast in a nameless group, and export a bullfrog to the mountains, and sell paper towel from their patio, and cancel the credit of the branch vice president, and kick a Honda in the grill and pluck staccato strings for their score, steal toothbrushes from CVS and spread their legs for the solution, and hang naked from a tree in Ibiza and write a slogan that fits on my wrist. How you guys doing out there? Having fun? This is called Apocryphal Stories. No, I'm not going to do Apocryphal Stories. I take that back. This is Animals. You soak the carpet in lingo, scratching the hair off your arms. You kicked out the stranger, ridiculed the superstitions he held on to. You lie restless, staying clean, wiping sweat, and I think about this quite a lot, pressing the grooves of my fingerprints into my forehead, sending an idea that reminds us both. Hell, there was another plan, in crumbles of sugar. I saw wild motion. I hunched towards it. I looked at it happening. It felt like a parade, elephants awake and gallant. I had been so nerve-stacked, the loops of my heartstrings matched my eyelashes. I wore a royal blue jacket with gold sleeves. There was a swirl that came from the trumpets, a triumphant chaos of repeating. There were banners hung from the tusks. My fingers had gone purple from clutching the baskets next to me. American Gothic didn't have this many thorns or any sepia tones to run on. I was welcomed in the house. I ate the cracker offered. The speech heated steadily. I found a pit of flower seeds. The displays had chanting and chips of bone and silver, a collection for the prison, and the dried hides of hunters. There wasn't an explosion, but then the ground bled. I swam through the cracks. All the plants had red stems. I want to be new, roll on straw, get my ribs bit by a tiger. I have memories about you, that cackle. I can see you bumming a cigarette from your grandkids with a sizzled mouth and bald patch. When you were younger, you were spring in your superhero underwear, but you couldn't be my life. We never paid rent to each other, and there's so many people who don't know where to go to battle. I can climb to the top of the bungalow and jump off the second level, kick my legs on the way down, and get strawberry Italian ice at Freddy's after. I can climb into a Nova, and when my foot goes through the floorboard, I'll flag down a passerby, pay for a ride on the thresher. Wolves that land can burst into fire. Deer protect themselves, and bears break into grain silos. Rabbits are the rats of the desert and crawl to eat the mice on the plains. When the evening is still and quiet and the candles are glowing violet, the sultry air makes you drop your cares, your doubts and your frowns. You descend the stairs and head into town. Walk through the leafy glade, float on the ground beneath you, walk all night with your gaze fixed on your lover's face. Sing a song of love that you learned from above. Dream of her caress, the nape of her neck, and know that you'll never part. When the evening is still and dark, light remains in your heart. You feel so free, smashing on we. You could be skipping stones all alone and not mind. Walk through the leafy glade, float on the ground beneath you. Picture her delicate face and ring the bell at her gate. Sing her a song of love. Feel your joy soar like a dove, and when you're at home reading her poems, you know that you have found someone who can make all your dreams come true. Hope you guys are having fun out there. We'll see. I do wonder how many people are actually watching this. It's always fascinating to me. It's not actually that fascinating, but it holds my attention for like 3 minutes. If I did all of this for the, it doesn't matter. It's called Always All the Time. That was the sound of the cat. She doesn't like to jump up on this chair for some reason. It makes her, she's like insecure. It's very odd. Anyway, this is Always All the Time. Now then, now then, now then. The weather is in the sea, gravityless moment caught and dotted with cherry trees and colored pencils. There is very little in life that matches what I feel when I smile, when you smile at what I whisper back to you. We're in the room and out of nowhere, looking at the inlet, together in letters and circles. Like a slit in the curtain, like a fluttering bird ready to bathe, like an oxidized copper fountain. I want to be with you always, all the time. Like a white shirt with a fresh grass stain, like a streetlight breathing air, like waving from the top of a ladder. You plan all the plans, always, all the time. Like a strawberry on the counter, like fingernails washed clean, like a bee being curious of a new flower. You are adorable, always, all the time. Like pickled ginger on salmon, like a workbench in the sun, like an invention imagined. We are here and with each other, always, all the time. Like a cat cornering a grasshopper, like a licked stamp pressed with a thumb, like a rectangle with unbroken corners. You are mine, I am yours, always, all the time. This is called Day. This is from Radar Grain. I have truly never read this one. The house was empty, nothing to be done. I tried but couldn't remember ever being 3 feet filling space. But I'm looking on the mist and sun, and the day looks beautiful. I'll stare at the backyard and drink some water and feel the heat break over my face. Today is another chance, and I'll let it sit right here next to me. Birds land on the lawn and ants crawl over the rocks. The only sound I hear is the breeze pushing the leaves away and the glider moving back and forth. I think today is going to be beautiful, seeing the mist off the sun. I'll roll my head on my shoulders and wait for night to fall. Hmm. We should do something a little bit more upbeat, perhaps. The one that I really want to read is very long, and we are coming to the end of our time together here, so I'm hesitant to sort of launch into it. Um, we can do this one, though. This is Silver Lace. It's not very upbeat. But never let it be said that the book won't be read or that the candlesticks will be thrown out. That's like asking about your blankets and what became of them. Were they really left in an alley or boxed and lent to a friend? Never let it be said that the chickens won't get fed or that the evening's coffee will run cold. That's like thinking the traffic lights will never turn red or that the wire will run out before you get to return home. I'm looking at a book of photographs by Robert Frank, size cut in half. Some maps people never thought to make, some paths people never thought to make. When Berkeley was originally settled, the center of town was marked with a church and a bank. Some people never think to give thanks or wonder if they might be wrong. I still have the cassette you made decorated with black magic marker and duct tape, though the sound cuts out in half the songs. Never let it be said that your sister will stay unwed, or that the scissors are no longer sharpened. That's like thinking the sun will never outshine the moon, or that the heat of the spring only lives in the swell of the afternoon. I'll try this one. I don't know if I want to do that one. We'll see. Okay. I think I figured out what I want to do. All right. This is called I Walk with God. I walk with God. I walk with God through all my changes, during my happiness, and throughout my challenges. I walk with God, close to my memories, through my mistakes, past all my actions. I walk with God for forgiveness, for resolution, to see the stages I play a role in. I walk with God because I know it's easy to fall into false humility or declare your own authority. I walk with God to try and understand as much as I can about the expanse of creation. I walk with God because of the moments when I see serendipity and grace expressed so sublimely. I'm only here to accept my responsibility. I walk through a world I don't like, and as time went on, I felt more and more disconnection. I walked through a world I don't like until I had almost complete separation of myself. I walked through a world I don't like, and this wasn't troubling. I thought it would help. I walk through a world I don't like, and that I can make a true observation and learn and improve. I walk through a world I don't like, but I found the obverse was true. I walk through a world I don't like, and that the more I remain detached and considering the reflection, I walk through a world I don't like, the more I became unnatural and obsessed with my own protection. And this is called I Got Away Alive and Sane. See, we're working toward the big ending here. Exciting stuff. Shall we? Shall we? I think we shall, huh? And it's a good idea. Yeah? We'll see if this works. If this doesn't work, that's fine. Oh shit, it actually worked.
Musician is the best way to learn.
No, that didn't work. Quite categorically didn't work. All right. I've been living like the whole FBI died in a Kool-Aid mistake. I've been keeping a time bomb in my shoe, so I know my watch is correct. I got a tiger by the tail waiting for it to end tomorrow. I've been up all night burning my bridges, making jokes about ex-friends' fetishes. I won't tell you to hold on or say you don't deserve what you get. You won't ever see me take the first step. I got a tiger by the tail waiting for it to end tomorrow. I got a floorbird in the garage. I've been overstimulated. I've been sore. I got away alive and sane. I didn't get strangled or stained. I got away alive and sane. For now, anyway, I got away alive and sane. All right, this is the last one. Big finish. So this is from Citizenship. Came out last year. So by the way, if you go to, I'll plug myself shamelessly one more time. If you go to fluxlifeinc.com, there's links to all my books. All my work is free because it would be bizarre to charge money for it, especially at this point. So all my work is free. You can fucking spend endless hours of your life going through all of it, and then there's links to all the movies that I made and everything. So it's all fucking there. So anyway, this is Citizenship. Apparently, I'll be back if the numbers are good. I'll be right, Van. I'll be back next week at 4:05 for the quarantine stream. Life is but a dream in the quarantine stream. All right. Well, it's easy for your mom to spend Friday night trying to lecture the TV while half asleep, continuously murmuring, "Let it all breathe," when she's not the one out there braving the wind, trying to walk across that wing with just a 4-foot stick of balsa wood trying to keep her balance. The Tsar's personal physician put the head of surgery in bed, called his staff around, and explained this could be the end, but he's not really certain because he's just been too depressed at the prospect, or at least that's what you thought, he said, but you were quite distracted by the kissing couple on the observation deck. And you got yelled at for sleeping during a meeting by the head of marketing, but you didn't feel any guilt as you explained that you'd been sin-free since the night before, and the head of marketing agreed and closed the door to talk about opportunities for advancement. And the private still cannot figure out how to break ranks or how to help your mom fill out a loan application or get a new sticker for her license plates. And the two of you prepare for their weekend leave by getting hair extensions and hitchhiking back to the hospital. You've been reading diaries, you've been reading autobiographies, you've been writing long treatises out on graph paper, you've been condescending to your enemies, you've been giving away easy answers that argue there are no easy answers, you've been running forensics on untabulated statistics, you've been staring at a man buzzsawing down a tree thinking anyone but me, you've been miming in a marching band, not playing a single note all season, you've been looking at the apple in your hand, hoping to know how you'll find another, you've stolen mail from your mother. You've been looking at a fence thinking enough of this. You've been back to the hospital staying after hours in the maternity ward, laying newly minted silver rectangles on newborns' chests. You've been counseling dry drunks. You're nearer to sovereignty and whoever picks apples for free. You've been painting large unfinished arcs on your foyer walls while in expensive new clothes. You've been nearer to sovereignty and whoever spreads apple seeds for free. You've been barefoot while feeding skunks. You've been seeing your reflection in cardboard. Let it all breathe is the reminder that you whisper to yourself when you're out walking across the wing, watching flotsam from Beechcraft Model 18s rotate overhead, amazed how machinery so heavy can defy gravity. Let it all breathe is the reminder that you whisper to yourself when you're out walking across the wing, watching jettisoned pollution floating in the Indian Ocean, in utter disbelief how the laws of nature can be defied so carelessly. You're a wing walker. Closer to sovereignty, closer to picking apples for free, closer to crashing the fence, closer to opening books. You're a wing walker, trying to make a future full of stars while feeling some affectionate bite marks. You're a wing walker. Closer to sovereignty, closer to spreading apple seeds for free, closer to swimming naked, closer to learning languages. You're a wing walker! Trying to make a future full of stars while wishing you weren't so far. They found me, realistically resembling myself and fully alive in a different year. Questions were drawn to determine how I appeared there. I explained I went to sleep because I couldn't function being constantly awake. Theta waves, turning back on themselves, spindle waves with no chance to crest, and the slow waves that never get close to arriving. A wing walker craves immunity to maintain sovereignty, feeds on concentration to maintain sovereignty, and brushes memories to maintain sovereignty. Theta waves are just the start. Spindle waves to stand you straight up. Slow waves safely depositing you back along the shore. A wing walker needs clear vision and to be free of poison. And you have to know where to turn on the lights before you go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go home and go to sleep. Go home and go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go home and go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go home to go and go to sleep. All right. See you next week, maybe. As Jerry Lee Lewis once said, if you liked it, God bless you. And if you didn't, go to hell.